Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 56 today and we're back for a transfer special as well as our second qualifying round in the European Champions League. Of course, we've got a massive opportunity to make it back-to-back group stages this year, something we'd never achieved until 12 months ago. If we can do it again financially, it will change the landscape for this nation. However, we know there could be disappointment. Today we face Goteborg and we potentially got Dinamo Zagreb if we get through. So it's going to be far from easy. We've already won comfortably in the first tie, as you can see from the 15-0 win at the top right of the screen. However, this one's going to be a much tougher test. So if you're looking forward to that, seeing what we've done in the window, and where perhaps the holes in our squad are this season, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories, a massive week or so in the head coach. You can catch up with that playlist in the eye above. And thank you so much for your incredible support both on this channel and over on the podcast too. But let's start our new season by having a look at the transfers. There's some potential ins and outs going across the club. We tried to get Monlouis, it hasn't worked out. He's gone to Swansea on a free transfer and they just won't loan him to us. He's going to be involved in the first team there by the looks of it. But if we have a look at the transfer history and going back to the end of last season, nothing really happened towards the end of that window. But so far this year, we've had a few outs and just a couple of ins too. So Owen Tolt, we already knew was leaving. He's gone to Larne on a free transfer. Les Shakespeare has gone to Llandudno, who are now in the top tier. So after a really good spell at our feeder club last season, he now gets his chance in the top division. That's what the feeder club was for. Maciek Polak, another youngster, he's gone on loan to Airbus. Josh Thomas has gone this time permanently back to England for Fleetwood for £5,000. Was a backup player at Wycombe last year. Was part of promotion from League One for them. But this time he's on his bike and going back to that division. For Charlton, a £7,7500 deal for Tavongate Rashesha. He's a very good player and we've got a sell-on clause. We bought him in January last year when we loaned out Vaughan. He didn't develop. He's got slightly worse if anything. He didn't have the best personality. He was injury prone. So the chance to make a profit on him, we had to do it. So we wish him all the best there because if he does well and that value goes up, we could well make a nice little bit of profit. Even Press, after a couple of years, leaves for Accrington Stanley. 50-odd appearances for us after 100-odd at Barry. But no Welsh side to take a punt on him. So he goes off to Accrington, where I'm sure he'll do well. And then Ethan Vaughan just last week, on loan to Lincoln. He's got another chance to impress in the EFL. A very poor loan spell at Exeter last year. Only got 1 appearance in the end. But this time, he's got another chance. Hopefully, he'll make it count. Now, the reason we've allowed both Rashesha and Vaughan to leave is because we have a new very good right back. That man is Kai McDonald from Tottenham Hotspur. He comes in on loan, 4.5-star ability, 5-star potential, 18 years old, which means he qualifies as an under-19 member of the squad, of which we have to have 2 in every matchday squad in the Welsh Premier League. He's just superb. Driven personality, brave, physically quick, strong. He's everything. Technically good, mentally excellent. Wonderful player. 2 very good appearances so far for us and already off the mark in terms of goals as well. The other one to come in is Harry Clifton. He's basically our cautious replacement for Ian Brooks, whose loan deal has expired. We can't get him back. So he comes in as our 4th centre midfielder. Ideally, we'd like someone of Brooks' quality back and sell on Jake Taylor, who you saw we had agreed a deal for to leave. But Clifton, the 3rd best at the moment, behind Williams, behind Cannell, but a very good squad player and gives us plenty of depth, so we cannot complain whatsoever. If I very quickly show you the other 2 though, of course you know Weaver is staying at left back. Brooks is loan listed by Sheffield United, but they won't send him here. They want him to play with higher quality players. And we also looked at Jerome Kelly, who we nearly loaned in last January. Now he is available to be loaned by us, but he's not now, but they wanted 60% of his wages before, and that's not going to happen either. But it looks like, as bigger clubs want him, he'll perhaps go there. And we're going to miss out on those main targets. Now, what that means for us as a squad is that we're very short at centre-half. So at the moment, we've only got Badavo and Hughes. They're the only 2 centre-halves at the club. Tola's gone, Presser's gone, Monlouis gone. We've got no replacements in for them. So there's a gaping hole in the squad. Aside from that, we could have done with Brooks' quality in the middle. But even with that said, we've got a very good team elsewhere. It is just about a centre-half. And then I think we're basically as strong as last year. So let's go and have a look at the schedule quickly to see that two-legged tie against Santa Coloma. A 5-0 win away from home in the first leg. Dean, Cottrell, a Duffy brace and Badebo with the goals. And then a 15-0 win at home. Instead of talking you through the scorers, which will take all day, I just leave them on the screen there. But hat-tricks for all of the front three. We couldn't have asked for much more. And goals galore across the rest of the side, including Paul Gatzel, who hadn't scored since the November before. A very quick side note in terms of concern. I know Llandudno have been promoted. We've drawn Llandudno Junction in the second round of the League Cup. Now, you remember what happened when we played Llandudno last year. It was a very poor start to the season. So I'm a little bit cautious about that. But otherwise, it is IFK Goteborg against Bangor City. And this is one we have to win. We've got to try and sustain that success to get towards the group stages. And I'm hoping we can do it in this one. So the 11 that we've gone for, despite the heavy match load, is George Wickens in goal. We've got Weaver and McDonald, the two lone fullbacks. Hughes and Badebo at centre-half. Woods, Williams, Connell and Cottrell, the midfield diamond. And then Dean and Duffy up front. Loads of goals already. And hopefully a few more to come. Jack Hankin back to reserve this year because of the signing of McDonald. But there's a lot of quality on that bench still. We're basically just a centre-half away from being a very good team again. So hopefully we'll get that sorted soon. But in the meantime, we need success in Sweden. Can we get it? Let me know what you think down below. And here we go. Not many recognisable names in that Gothenburg team, mainly because they're all greyed out. But despite that, it is supposed to be a really big one for us. We're playing them back to back, so leave our mark. Nice new team talk item there. But I'll say this, we have got a big opportunity. If we can reach the Champions League groups twice in a row, that's basically £25 million. That rebuilds a club, that rebuilds a nation. That allows us to buy some of the best youngsters from other clubs and pay them a few £100,000 for them as the ball comes through from Anderberg. What we do know is that if we end up in the Europa Conference or even the Europa League, we've got a slightly better chance of succeeding. But that means nothing. The finances are important at this stage. As Cottrell comes forward, goes for the shot just over the bar. We will have a look afterwards to see how the other Welsh sides have got on, because I haven't had a look at their Europa Conference campaigns yet. Their first legs and second legs should be done. So if any of them are through, there'll be an action tomorrow. It's not been a great transfer window so far. Generally, they do more of their transfer work in the January or towards the end of the window. And Max Dean's picked up a knock there, so we're going to have to take him off. Not the best start. 25 minutes, no shot on target. Duffy's going to switch to the right, Glatzel on up front. Let's see if we can get a winner. An away goal would be absolutely crucial, but this is going to be a much tougher test than Santa Coloma. We've seen that already. And here we are on the stroke of half-time. Free kick for the hosts into the back post. Weaver loses out in the air. It's just over the bar. Probably should have been 1-0 in truth. As it is, we hang on at half-time. I fancy us to win the home game, so I would take this score. But ideally, we'd like that away goal. So hopefully that'll be coming. You can see Hughes, the worst rating of the outfield players. The one on the yellow card as well. And he's got some defending to do here. As they've got it on the left-hand side. Widland crosses. Emmanuelson heads in. It's Ryan Hughes who loses out in the air. And we're in trouble. Gothenburg 1, Bangor City 0. And this dream could be ending very quickly. Can we get back into this game? Or will it be disaster and a nightmare to start the season? Let's go and find out with 30 minutes to go. We're going to make a couple of quick changes. Ben Cottrell has not had a good game. Callum Maguire on for him. I mean, I'd love to take Hughes off, but I've got no options there. So we're going to go for either Woods or Williams. It's going to be Williams. We're going to go for a bit more of a defensive-minded midfielder in Clifton. Try and rat around a bit, try and work hard, and try and get back into the game. And then look what's happened. Oh, it's turning into a nightmare. Kai McDonald is off injured. We've got no substitutions left. Jack Hankin can't come on. And he's our best player as well. So if he's got a bad injury, we're in right trouble. Can anyone play right back here? I don't think they can. Oh, this is a disaster. I don't know what we're going to do. I think we have to go for Clifton right back, Maguire centre mid, Duffy attacking mid. I know it's not ideal, but this is about damage limitation now. We've seen already we can put goals past teams at home. We just have to hold on and keep this tight. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality, but if we can nick an away goal, it would be very, very special. As Maguire gets it to the left to Luca Cannell, making a run through. It's slightly overhit. Two in the middle still. Back to Callum Maguire. Heads just over the bar. It was always going to be difficult from that range and that angle, but at least we've created something. Now, can we stop the damage at the other end? 1-0 is not a disaster given all the circumstances today, but they've matched us up in a diamond and it has really been hard to break down. And maybe that's all teams have needed to do for some time now. As soon as we've been matched up against a team with fairly similar ratings and fairly similar attribute levels, we're in big trouble. It finishes Gothenburg 1, Bangor City 0. We stifled the game well after going down to 10 due to injury. But we've got a lot of work to do at home. Not exactly the start to this tie we were hoping for. We'll be back in a minute for the second leg. Hopefully, the injury news isn't bad. You know when you get that feeling that there's a disaster starting? Well, we've got that feeling now. Before we get into the second leg, where apparently our fans are confident and expect us to win comfortably against a 3-star reputation side, who have now got a real player. He's a 17-year-old youngster, but he's a blooming good one. He doesn't look too bad at all. But excuse my frustration as we go to the medical centre. Kai McDonald, 4-week injury, 3 weeks of it remaining. Jake Taylor, still out for 2 weeks. Max Dean, 6 to 9 days, only just coming back, not really fit to start tonight. Kieran Clark, the backup left-back, one of the best youngsters at the club, one of the other few players that was in the under-19 qualified for the matchday squad in the league, 5 to 7 months with a damaged spine. So that's basically the end of his prospects of making it, and we've just offered him a 2-year deal beforehand. It's not a good start. We still can't find a centre-half either for loan or transfer in the scout reports. And we're in a real spot of bother here. If we don't get through in this tie, we might be in trouble. Let me very quickly, as promised, show you the Europa Conference, because there is a little bit of good news for the nation there. If we go back to the first qualifying round, Carmarthen, you can see on the 4th line here, they got through 3-1 on aggregate against a side from Malta. Newtown, unfortunately, just went out to a side from Armenia, who I think were the strongest of the 3 teams the Welsh sides played. And TNS got through 3-1 on aggregate against a side from the Latvian league. So 2 sides making it to the second qualifying round. Doesn't look quite so good there. In the first leg, Carmarthen lost 3-2 at home to Osijek, a 3-star Croatian side. And TNS lost 2-0 at home to Beitar Jerusalem, a 3-star Israeli side. So that might be the end of the road. But again, 2 sides getting through a qualifier. Real good sign for the country moving forward. But we could be joining teams in lower competitions if we're not careful, because this is a really important game. Bangor City v IFK Goteborg. We are injury hit, we're in a bit of trouble physically, and we need a big reaction from these boys. So let's go and see what lineup our assistant manager has picked. And I think actually it's largely the same. I've got to put Dean on the bench ahead of Tranter because he's just not good enough to be involved. But even then, we've got a goalkeeper. We've got Humphreys, the young centre midfielder, who's got no real quality. We've got no defenders on the bench. We're in a mess. We really are. We've let a few too many go too early. And I'm now regretting selling the likes of Even Press because I feel like he would have been essential here. But as it is, we haven't got him today. So it's the same lineup with the exception of Hankin in for McDonald at right back, who is injured. Glatzel in for Dean up front, who is just coming back from injury but not fit. And no Kieran Clark on the bench, who is injured and is going to miss most of the season. Into the second leg we go. I need a big performance from these boys. And I've got everything crossed they're going to produce it. Or after last year's euphoria of reaching the group stages, we're going to fall at the second hurdle this time. It's saying one change made, but that isn't right, is it? And Harness didn't start the last game. So unless there was a friendly in the middle that I didn't know about, that's where we are at present. Let's go and get into the second leg. We trail 1-0. We have no away goal to defend. We have got to win this game by 2 goals to be safe. We won 15-0 in our last home European game, but that was against a half-star side. This is a 3-star team, and it's going to be an awful lot more difficult. Let's get into the first half against the Swedes, and fingers crossed it's going to be a positive day at the end of a very tough episode. Well, 10 minutes to the break, the signs are really not good. We've had the better of the game, but no highlights. They've sort of matched us up again, not with the narrow diamond this time, but with 5 narrow midfielders. They're really trying to thwart us in that central area. They're forcing us wide with the fullbacks. Without really having McDonald at right back, half of that threat's gone, or so they think, as Hankin picks it up, delivers into Duffy. Oh, he created the chance well enough, Hankin, but it's not taken. It's just wide of the post, and at half-time, it is 0-0 on the night, and Gothenburg still lead on aggregate. We need 1 to get to extra time, 2 to get us through if we don't concede. So we'll get the lads motivated, we'll go and get into it. This needs to be a big 45 minutes, or we could be going back a long way here. Right, there's 25 minutes left. We have not seen a highlight here. We've got to get some more aggression on the pitch. Cannell is shattered. He's going to be replaced by Clifton. Duffy is nervous. He's going to be replaced by Harness. I know that's a risk. And then at the back, we've got an anxious Jack Hankin. We've got no sub-defenders. Hughes has had a poor game. Oh, what do I do? Williams is the best creative player in there. I don't want to take him off. We're going to leave it at 2 for now. We're demanded more. We've got to get something out of these guys. 25 minutes to go. And Goteborg might have just found a tactic. Anything central and we struggle. As Persson puts it into the box, Weaver heads away. Can Cottrell counter? We are desperate now. Cottrell comes down the left. There's no opposition at him. He gets into the box. He goes for the shot. It's just wide of the post. Williams' rating's down to a 6.4. Josh Benson is coming on. These are not the players we wanted to bring on as desperate attacking changes. But we're going to go attacking, and with 10 minutes to go, we need something quick. I don't think we're going to get it. We are going out of the Champions League very early this year. And it is a disastrous night for Bangor City. An episode fraught with disaster. Who thought this was coming at the start? We were positive about the signings. We were positive about the European chances. And now, at the second qualifying round, we drop out. IFK Goteborg beat us. We've got big injury problems and long-term ones as well. And we still have some frustration in the transfer window. I don't know who we face in the Europa League. We have got Starnan of the Icelandic League, 2.5-star side. You'd imagine we're just about favourites for this. But if we don't get some of those other positions sorted, we are in big trouble. Of course, the financial implications this year, it sort of tells you why I didn't break the wage structure quickly. Still no one earning more than £1.50 a week. And the reason we did that is because Champions League football was not guaranteed. You may have thought it was going to be easy to get through these qualifiers again, but I've been proven right. It wasn't going to be, and now we drop into the Europa League. We're going to play the third qualifier off camera in the hope we can get through comfortably, and we'll be back for the playoff, by which point, fingers crossed, we've got some transfer news, because if not, this is going to be a long season. So we might have to lower our expectations in terms of quality of signing, but we've got to get someone better than Hughes, because he is costing us big time. We need replacements in the fullback areas. Now we've got injuries on both sides. And who knows, if we get more injuries like this, it could become one of those long frustrating years. But if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in the Europa League qualifiers this time, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think of a couple of transfers. Let me know if you saw that disaster coming. Plenty of problems in injury terms. And who saw us not scoring over 2 legs in that tie? Certainly not me. If you want to stay up to date and see if this disaster is going to continue this season, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases from 2 long-term stories, including a thrilling climax to the season in the head coach. Please do check that one out in the eye above and catch up if you haven't seen it yet. It's been one of my favourite ever FM stories on the channel, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. This one might get a little tricky now, but of course we'll stick it out as always. Thank you so much for your incredible support on this channel and over on the podcast too. And hopefully I'll see you next time for better days at Bangor City, as we need to make sure we get into the group stages or something. Because if we don't, the impact could be long-term financially and coefficient-wise. I'll see you next time to find out if we can avoid it.